And welcome back to A Podcast in Space and Time. I'm Kendal Coffee.
And I'm Holden B. Huffman.
And today we are doing something a little bit different. We are doing our ranking of Series 2.
Yay!
So stay tuned for that.
And welcome back, everybody. Like Kendal just said, we are going to do our official ranking of all the episodes of Series 2, including the Christmas Invasion. So
yes. I never know what to say at the start of these. It's always
I know. It's different. We don't do these very often. We only do them like a few times, so.
And we'll come up with something eventually, maybe.
Hopefully. Okay. Do you want to start with your number 14?
Yeah, so maybe let's talk about how are they going to do this, because last time I think we did we each said our number 14.
No, what we did was you would say your number 14.
Yeah.
And then I would tell you what my ranking of that episode was.
Okay, cool. So let's do that again.
It's just a little more convenient, and I think it flowed really well.
Yeah, I think that works better because we don't talk about the episode twice.
Exactly.
Okay.
So go right ahead. And what's your number 14?
I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by this. It is Love and Monsters.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
this was just like, on top of it being a bad episode overall, it was just like, it was difficult to watch. It had a very unpleasant energy to it.
Yeah, the acting was stale. The production was a little stale. The costume design was stale, although I will also mention it was designed by a child. Yeah,
but it was adapted by adults who could have done a better job.
Yeah. It was bad.
Yeah, just overall a bad episode. And all the interesting characters were just not really
thrown out.
Yeah, they were just thrown out, and I don't know. It just I'd liked it even less than I thought I was going back into it, because I was like, it's been a couple years, maybe I was a little hard on it the first time through, but
and I was thinking the same thing, because we'd already watched 3 bad episodes, so I'm like, maybe it's not as. I'm like, man, is this episode really going to be as bad as I thought it was? I mean, after these 3 episodes, and I'm like, no, it's worse than I remember.
It was worse than I remembered for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to number 13. For me, it was the Satan Pit.
Okay, Satan Pit was my number 12.
Oh, so not too far.
So we're not far off there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, my Satan Pit. It was bad.
Yeah,
it was bad.
I ranked this one slightly higher just because I think to me it had more interesting moments than what the Impossible Planet had. But not a lot going for it overall.
Honestly, I voted the Impossible Planet a little higher on my list. Just a little bit. Just because, I'll get into that a little bit more. But, the Satan Pit, just bad. The Ood, still, we've mentioned, I'm not that big of a fan of the Ood. And, it was bad. Yeah, just a lot of Satan stuff, and just a lot of unnecessary stuff and stupid stuff, like just shoot them. Just shoot them. Shoot them! Yeah.
It was a bad episode.
Right.
But to me, it wasn't as bad as number 13, which was the Impossible Planet for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought, I don't know. To me, this one was even more on the nose with the satanic stuff, and it was slightly worse.
That's my number 11.
Okay. What's your number 13?
The Satan Pit.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's your number 12?
My number 12. Well, we'll get into that in a minute. We got to talk about the Impossible Planet first.
Okay.
The Impossible Planet, for me, it was it was still a bad episode. No way was it a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a little hokey pokey with all of it, and it was kind of just comical.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but I think it was hokey in like the same way a lot of kind of like the scaremongering, like really evangelical Christian movies we grew up with were.
Right.
So I think like in that way it made me also just like it even less.
No, I can totally understand that. But for me, as someone who likes to make fun of Christian movies and everything, it just had a lot of hokey pokey moments that I just thought were absolutely hilarious.
I mean, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was your number 13, correct?
Yeah. And then number 12 was Satan Pit. So
Okay.
number 11.
Well, I got to say my number 12.
Oh.
Dude, you're already messing up on our formula.
I'm sorry. Did you? I thought you said number 12.
No, my number 12 is The Idiot's Lantern.
Oh, okay. So that's my number 11.
Mm. We're about on the same page.
We're pretty close there. Yeah. Okay. So what did you hate about this episode?
Feed me, Seymour. No, sorry. No, it's just bad. It had one or two redeeming qualities of just the doctor being absolutely savage to the father dude. Yeah. But then that got totally screwed up at the end when Rose is like, he's your father. Go spend time with him. I'm like, what the heck? He's toxic.
Yeah, no, you don't have to spend time with people that want to ruin your life.
I understand he's your father, but like I said in the episode, wait till he comes and apologizes to you.
Yeah, and even then, like, you still don't have to accept him back in your life. If someone has, like, legitimately harmed you, it's fine to just not associate with them anymore.
Exactly. So what were your thoughts on this episode as well?
Yeah, I mean, it I agree with that. It was bad. Honestly, like, I enjoyed the hokey moments. I think probably.
Yeah, no, there was some good hokey moments.
Yeah, I enjoyed those in this episode more than I did in like The Impossible Planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the doctor invented the VHS.
Yeah, like I thought that was fun. Funny. I did enjoy the setting to some degree. And I don't know, I thought like it was kind of funny having like people's fears around the television and around new technology actually come true. I thought that was kind of funny.
That is fair. That is fair. Okay, moving on. Number 10. Why don't you go ahead and say your number 10?
Okay. My number 10 was Fear Her.
Okay, that's my number 9.
Okay. Yeah, like, again, it's not even necessarily a bad episode, just not a great episode. And
agreed.
Part of the Fatal Five. Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, it was the end of the Fatal Five.
Yeah. Like, by that point in just like those bad episodes, I think like getting to that episode
for anything.
Yeah, I think it made me favor it a little more than I probably normally would have.
Right.
But it was, slightly better than the 4 we had seen before. But overall, a fairly just kind of bland story.
Mm-hmm. Well, the reason it's just like 1 inch above higher on my list is just because I like the concept of a child's drawings coming to life. It's just stuff like that has always intrigued me about like stuff like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Like, like your imaginary friend is actually real and stuff like that. Stuff like that has just always intrigued me.
And I think that could have been a really fun concept for the show to explore if it had kind of like happened in reverse, where like instead of having the kids get trapped inside the drawing, maybe you have the kid drawing monsters and the monsters come out, which like we saw a little bit, but that was.
Phone's ringing. It's spam, it's a spam call. It'll be just a second, Kendall. Excuse me. Okay, it's over. Continue.
Let me. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, like I think that could have been a fun concept if it had happened in reverse. Whereas instead of having the kids getting trapped in the girl's drawing, if like maybe she drew some monsters and the monsters came out of the drawing and like came into the real world.
Yeah, and we did have that, like the scribbling she did, and it came into the world. So
yeah, so there was like a little bit of that, but I think it would have been a lot more fun if that was like the main part of the episode.
Yeah,
I think there could have been some really fun, creative things that happened there.
oh, for sure. And then there was just the whole thing of the crazy announcer.
Yeah, that was funny.
Not 9,000. It was more than 9,000, but however many. 90,000 people have disappeared. It's amazing. I am in shock. I am in complete awe of that 90,000 people have completely disappeared. I'm like, no, you're not.
This torch is no longer a symbol of the Olympics. It's a symbol of love and hope.
Oh, gosh, yeah. You can tell that was engineered towards kids.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, it's kind of heavy-handed.
Yeah. Okay, my number 10 was New Earth.
Ah.
So, it was the cat people for me.
Really?
Yeah, that got it. That just, and the whole logic of the disease stuff, because like we had mentioned it, like it was okay that they did a zombie episode, but couldn't they have just come up with like a new virus or something, and not literally every virus ever created? And then the people just completely, as soon as they got one touch of the cure, all their scars and boils and everything just vanished. It was just so unrealistic in that way.
Yeah, no, that definitely really brought the episode down for me, but I enjoyed the cat people. It kind of elevated it. I thought they were fun.
Well, okay, I enjoyed part of the cat people.
Yeah.
The thing for me was, why use guns when we have claws?
No, I loved that moment. I thought it was very good.
Where did you rank that?
So I ranked New Earth number 9, so slightly above Fear Her.
Yeah, no, we did this last time. We're just flip-flopping.
Yeah, I think our low episodes, I think we pretty much generally agree on.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's all I have to say about New Earth.
Yeah, I don't have much more to say about it.
Okay.
So what was your number 9 then?
It was Fear Her.
That's right. Okay.
Okay, so what's your number 8?
So my number 8 was The Christmas Invasion.
Hey, same.
Hey, same hat. Yeah, I mean, I think we're past the bad episodes at this point, so I wouldn't even call this a bad episode. It was just, it was slow. It you don't really see the Doctor in action,
right? It's his first episode.
Yeah, and
we only see him for like 20 minutes.
He spends the first 30 minutes of his first episode sleeping.
No, the first 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's an hour special.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, yeah, that really kind of brought it down for me. I think there could have been a lot more interesting conflict in the episode if I don't know, if we just got more of the Doctor.
Yeah,
because that's what we're watching the episode for. I mean,
we want to see the new Doctor.
I enjoyed the drama of him like being like asleep and not really being able to help solve this alien crisis. But for that to be the first episode of his run, it was just the wrong placement for that kind of thing.
Right. And like we had mentioned it before, and plus this was the first regeneration of the revived era.
Yeah.
They needed to do it in, say, something like the Matt Smith first episode, the Peter Capaldi first episode, or the Jodie Whittaker first episode. Just not the first time. Yeah. We need to have some familiarity of how it goes, and then we could be like, something's not right.
Yeah. And especially since this didn't really happen again.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of something that happened in this episode, and then
it briefly happens in Capaldi and Whitaker's episode, but
very briefly.
Very briefly.
Yeah, not to the same degree.
And we also just got Harriet Jones back, which was nice. Harriet Jones, Prime Minister.
Yes, we know who you are.
Okay, so what's your number 7?
My number 7 was The Girl in the Fireplace.
Hey, same.
Hey. Wow. We are on point.
We are.
Yeah.
What to say about this episode, except for just we mentioned it in our spoiler section, but I don't want to mention it too much in here, just because this isn't spoiler territory.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of similarities to a future Doctor Who companion.
Yeah.
And it's written by the exact same writer. So it's just like, wow, you're just reusing stuff.
And also, when that episode comes up, I like that episode better.
Yeah, for real.
I like how it's a similar storyline, but I prefer how it's treated later in the show.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And I think maybe the showrunner then had kind of the same idea. Maybe Moffat was also thinking, I could do this better. Maybe. I don't know.
No, Moffat wrote both things.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he wasn't super satisfied with his first go around.
I got you. And another thing, right?
That's just a Kindle speculation, which I do a lot on this show.
Yeah, we do. We both do that a lot.
Yeah.
Something I really liked was just the aesthetic. I always like period pieces and just seeing different ages and what people did, how they dressed, how they talked, stuff like that. I always enjoy things like that.
Yeah, I love the aesthetic. I loved the clockwork.
The clockwork drones were beautiful. The Doctor said so himself.
I thought that was a great concept and just great craftsmanship on that set piece, designer, I guess. Whoever created those clockwork bots did an amazing job.
Right, and then again towards the supporting cast that played the clockwork droids.
Yeah,
just really nailed that.
Yeah. Again, a perfectly fine episode. There are just other episodes I like a lot more in this season.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, let's get into the episodes that are really, really good. Okay, number 6. What's your number 6?
My number 6 is Army of Ghosts.
Hey, same!
Wow. We are really on that same wavelength.
Yes, we are. Dang.
I wonder if we would if our ranking would be this similar if we didn't discuss each episode together.
I don't think it would be because we did it before. I think we did something similar beforehand.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, a good episode. We literally just talked about it last week, so I'm not sure if I have a whole lot more to say about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the hard thing about doing this. If it's the most recent one you've done, it's hard to talk about.
But a lot of some good tension, a good setup for a finale. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it was good. Okay, let's go on to number 5. Okay, what's your number 5, Kendall? Let's do it again.
Doomsday.
Yes! Same!
It's really hard to not rank two-parters together.
It really is.
I'm not I feel like my ranking also might be different if these were not two-parters, but to me when I think about the two-parter episodes, I'm thinking about how do I like this as a story in comparison to the whole season? Because I tend to think of these more as one story than as individual episodes. And then so how does this story rank in the season for me? Right. And of the two parts of the story, which do I like more? Right. And I think it tends to be I like the second part more.
Yeah, that's usually that's how it's been for me mostly. Doomsday, very good episode. Nice send off to Rose. Again, like we mentioned in the actual episode, just the whole thing about the Rose send off, about how people built it up of being the most sad thing ever, and it's really not.
Yeah, yeah, and it's tough because that has nothing to do with the show, and it has so much more to do with like how a lot of people reacted to the show.
Right.
Like to me, that doesn't really bring the episode down. It's just like,
well, it brings it down for me, and I don't like it because I know it's not the show's fault.
Yeah, I think it's just like a matter of how your expectations were built up.
Right. Yeah, let's go on to number 4. All right, Kendall, do it again.
Number 4 for me is Tooth and Claw.
Oh, no, we didn't do it again.
Nope. What's your number 4?
Well, I should say what Tooth and Claw is for me.
Okay. What's Tooth and Claw for you?
Number 1.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Tooth and Claw is number 1 for me.
That's surprising. I mean, it is a very good episode.
I mean, I'm surprised myself. Like, this is a hard season to rank, okay?
It is.
And just like,
yeah.
And the thing is, if it weren't for Tooth and Claw, I know what my number 1 would be. And it was very hard to decipher between the two. But that other one was part of a 2-parter. And just being able to judge this one as a whole, whole episode. Plus, I really got to give it to a couple people in this. Pauline Collins with her portrayal as Queen Victoria.
Mm-hmm. She was excellent. She was
very excellent. And then Eros Lynn, the director.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize. But the way he was able to take the script and really direct it in the way he did was just beautiful. Of like not always showing the werewolf and just doing it from a POV shot and not fully showing the transformation of the werewolf. And just it really ties down to those two people.
Yeah, it did everything. To me, it did everything right about a suspenseful monster story. And I don't want to use the term horror because I don't think that quite fits it. But like,
no, it definitely fits in the monster story.
Yeah, like a suspenseful monster movie. I think the best thing you can do is show us just enough of the monster to like, get the hairs on the back of your head standing up. Like
right.
Show us just enough to really like make it feel like a real threat.
Yeah, and no, it was everything about that. It was just, I don't know, it was just beautiful.
Yeah, and also just like having an episode that has those very like visceral moments in it, but also still keeping the PG rating. I think, the director handled that very well.
Very, very well. I would really like to see what he could do with a higher rating.
Yeah,
what they could have done.
Yeah, or even like a bigger budget. Like I wonder how he would do things differently with like a 2020 Doctor Who budget.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
Because like the monster looked good for what they could manage at the time, and again, he did a really good job of not showing too much of it.
Right.
But I think like we could have seen something even better now with like the way technology has changed and anyway, very good episode.
Okay, now my number 4 was School Reunion.
Okay.
School Reunion was just a really good episode. Going into the season, I would have said School Reunion was my favorite episode of the season. But after rewatching it, it's good. It's just not my favorite.
Nah, I feel that. It's a very good episode to me. And I love
Sarah Jane Smith.
Thank you. I was actually trying to think of the actress's name.
Close enough.
But yeah, I loved seeing Sarah Jane's and just her her interactions with the Doctor, her interactions with
Elizabeth
Rose.
Sladen.
Elizabeth Sladen, thank you. And like having the older companion perspective, I thought was nice.
Right. And K9.
Yeah, great K9 moments. I also just love an episode with Mickey in it. So,
and I want to see K9 travel with Jodie Whittaker. Please, Christian, don't make that happen.
Please, Chris, we will forgive you for the Timeless Children if you bring K9 back.
Honestly,
no. Maybe not. It will help though. It would be a nice like bribe.
Yeah. So where did you rank School Reunion?
So I ranked School Reunion number 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So again, not too far off.
Yeah, close to my top. I liked it. I just thought it was a little more. It was a fun episode. Although you can guess what my top 2 are, but I think I ranked those a little higher just because I enjoyed the story more. But again, like School Reunion is a very fun episode, and I thought there's a lot of things I like about this episode, and I think like if I was going to just casually rewatch an episode this season, this would probably be my go-to before anything else.
That's fair. Okay, my number 3 is Rise of the Cybermen.
Yeah, I would have guessed that because that is my number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, no, very good episode, very good lead in to what's to come and everything for the next episode. Just very good, solid episode. You know, a great comeback for the Cybermen. Really liked how they didn't really show them fully until near the end.
Yeah, and I love the alternate universe stuff or the parallel universe stuff. I keep saying alternate universe. That's not really the right term.
Yeah, no, it's parallel.
Yeah, I love the parallel universe stuff.
And Pete Tyler.
I love seeing Pete again. And I just loved all the stuff with, which I guess we get more of it in the next episode, but the stuff with the 2 Mickeys.
We get a bit in this one and a bit in the next one because Ricky dies pretty early on in the next episode.
Yeah, so we get some good moments with Ricky and Mickey. I just think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so my number 2 is The Age of Steel, which I can gather is your number 1.
That is my number 1, yeah. Just such a good episode.
Yeah, no, it was very good. Like I said, I debated about it being my number 1.
Yeah, and I think like I've probably made it clear at this point that Mickey Smith is my favorite character of this season.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So getting to see like a sort of resolution to his arc, although he comes back. He does come back in Army of Ghosts and Doomsday,
right?
But getting to see like the resolution to this part of his story and him like really coming into his own and making choices for himself instead of being bound to Rose. I just really enjoyed that. I thought
and the fact
great.
that the Doctor respected his decision and
was
honestly, he didn't say it, but you could just tell he really was just like a good for you.
Yeah, I think he was really.
He was really proud of him.
Yeah, and I think too, like.
And also, he was like, "I get Rose to myself now."
Yeah, I'm not going to say the Doctor's like being proud of Mickey was like totally because of Mickey. Like I think part of his thinking was also like, well, now I don't have any competition.
Yeah, for real.
which we kind of discussed
last time,
that last episode, but that's really the thing that brings the Doctor down for me this season. It's just like,
yeah, the Doctor is a bit of a jerk in this season.
Yeah,
but he gets a lot better next season.
Yeah, and again, it's like, I don't know. I just love Mickey so much, and I just wanted Mickey to be happy and have nice things, and I think this was like his big step in that direction, and really like choosing something for himself and choosing what he wants.
Yeah, and for sure.
that's why this episode's number one for me.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Yeah, I don't think we're really going to do a series overview anymore. We only did that for about 5 minutes last time, and we didn't really say much anything else.
Yeah, it's harder to, I guess, talk about this series as a whole. I think it's a little easier to talk about individual episodes, but
yeah, no, it's just, I don't know. There's not much more to say than what we already have said.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess we'll call that an episode then.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. So
okay, cool. So thank you everyone for joining us today.
Thank you.
Join us next week. Excuse me. And you know what next week will be, Kendall?
What is that?
December 26th. The day after Christmas.
The day after the big guy in red comes?
Yeah, Captain Jack Harkness, and he'll give me something
Captain
special.
Jack Harkness.
Like he does every once a year at night. Yeah, no, and it'll be The Runaway Bride. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! Ho, ho.